Yesterday, I was doing a TikTok live, and one of the women in the live asked me, "What are some of the things that I wish I had done different?" Or "What's something you would have done different?" And to think about that now, going back, one of the observations that I have is that, yeah, I know that I would have done them different now. Now I know I would have done them different because I have all this knowledge. I have all of this knowledge of grief now. So I had to look at it as really being there and really what are some of the things that I wish I had done different. And I see so many things I could have done different when Austin died. I think Austin's death also set me up for the time that I knew I wanted to spend with my dad. So hear me out on this. Going through Austin's death, I knew I didn't want to miss a minute of my dad. And that part is different because with Austin, I had it was the traumatic loss, but with my dad, it was a diagnosis. And so, with the diagnosis and having gone through a grieving experience like Austin, I knew that I didn't want to miss a moment of my dad. I didn't want to miss one doctor's appointment. I wanted to hear everything the doctor said. Hey, Dr. Frazier, how you doing? I didn't want to. Thank you for the heart. I didn't want to miss one moment of anything that he said. I didn't want to miss the moment of, I got to get you on this podcast, sir, soon. I didn't want to miss one moment of anything that had to do with me being in the room with my dad. Any questions, any conversations. But I think now saying this out loud that came from Austin's loss. It absolutely came from um, experiencing Austin's loss and knowing that I wanted to be in there. Here's the truth about my grief, though. There were moments that I resisted. There were moments that I pretended. I pretended I was okay. And there were absolutely moments I avoided. And that's what I want to get into today. All right, my friends, so glad that you're here. The things that I wish I had done differently. When I look back now, I can clearly see that there were things that I wish I had done differently when Austin died. At the time, I was just trying to survive. And survival makes you do strange things. Survival makes you do strange things. And at that moment, I was just trying to survive. You start pretending to be okay. Innately, you start to pretend to be okay because you don't know what else to do. You lay your grief somewhere and it doesn't feel comfortable. The person that you lay your grief with, it doesn't feel comfortable. They change the subject, they do something weird, and immediately you start running, "Oh, I can't lay this here." I was pretending to be strong because that was the only tool that I had. And I wasn't pretending to be strong because I am a person that comes from strength, but I was using that be strong and I was coming strong every single minute of the day because I needed to be strong for Erica. I thought I was holding it all together, but actually I was falling apart on the inside. So one of the things that I wish I had a known was this pretending and this being strong. I wish I had a known about it. I wish I had a known to lean into the grief more. Partly, I'm going to tell you guys this. I had an intellectual thought that my grief wasn't going to be respected like Erica's because I was simply the aunt. I was simply the aunt. And because I was simply the aunt and not the mother, I thought my grief wasn't going to be respected. And because I had this thought, they're not going to give me the same respect. I ended up putting myself in this place of, I'm going to take care of her, which was innate for me because she was my baby. Erica was my baby. But what happened was I started to disappear behind this mask, the mask of being strong. The mask of, you guys, you should have seen. Here we are. Austin has just died. All the cousins are coming in. We're all around the same age. We're a powerhouse group, and we start planning this funeral. And literally, as the aunts and uncles are coming in, they're walking up to me going, what's going on here? What about this prayer? What about the church? What about that? Everybody was looking to me, and I was shielding Erica. And in that be strong of planning the funeral in my business brain, I didn't have to grieve. But I want to tell you guys, I missed something huge. I missed something really huge. And I missed my own children. I missed the grief that my own children were experiencing because I expected them to show up like me, be strong, take notes. This is the way you do it. And my children were grieving, and I didn't allow them the space for that grief. I showed up as Mama Strong, and in that Mama Strong, they started to follow my lead. And I can absolutely sit here and tell you guys right here today, right now in front of you, that I changed the losing Austin drowning changed the trajectory of Brittany's life. It changed the trajectory of her life. But me showing up as Mama Strong added to that. And if anything that I could have changed, it would have been that. It would have been sitting with her. I wished I had talked to her more. Brittany was there when Austin died. Brittany was 17 years old. Really talked to her. Really, not even talked, you guys, just listened, just hugged. I want to share this too. I wanted to shield them. So because I wanted to shield her, which is a lot of things I see us mamas doing, I don't want my kids to feel the pain. I don't want them to experience this. So we stop grieving in front of them. We stop grieving in front of them. We don't cry in front of them. When I was 16 years old, my aunt died. I was 16 years old. Erica was 6. Erica's version of that story is that all of the adults were whispering. When you hear Erica tell that story, she goes, I don't know what happened. I knew something was bad, but all of the adults were whispering. We were shielding Erica from the grief by whispering. I shielded my own child. I didn't go there with the conversations. And if there's one thing that I wish I had done different, it was that. I actually invited Brittany to come on the podcast today. She was like, at 7 a.m., are you crazy? She's not getting up at 7 a.m. But that was the thing. And one of the reasons that I want Brittany to come up, I want to do this together. I want to do this podcast with Brittany so you guys can hear it. What was it like from her perspective? One, I think it'll be healing. She's doing some work on it now. Two, I think it would be really good to see what it's like from a mother and a child's perspective at this point. And I'm going to get that podcast for you. But I wish I'd really talked to her. Not about errands, not about plans, but about death, about grief, about loss. Friends, when I tell you this, I want you to hear it. My child needed me. She needed me. But in my naive brain, I leaned into my sister because I thought she would need me more. It was Donovan, Austin, Jason, Jordan. They were all in the room. Kayla, these are all the kids that were in the room. Kelsey, Keith, Michael, all of them. I wish I had just sat on the couch with her and said out loud, what are you thinking? What are you scared of? And I would have admitted my own truth, that this hurt like hell and that I was scared. Think about that. I wish I had just said those things. I wish I had just said those things to her. I also wish that we as a family would have done this. My parents, Lewis's parents, Lewis, Erica, my brothers and sisters, with the kids. Think about this, you guys. What if we had got as a family and all did our grieving together? What if we had a group, a grief cohort? What if we would have gotten in the room the grandparents, the parents, and talked about grief, would we have changed the trajectory of how we grieve? What if we would have just been honest about what it felt like? We were together. Hear me out, you guys. We were together. We were all moving around together. But what a difference it would have made in our lives if we had all got in the same room and talked about the grief. Just talked about it, not tried to fix it, not tried to push it away, but just talked about it. Something I wished we had done. Not just the memories of Austin, because that's what we were doing a lot. We were talking about the memories of Austin. But what about the ache? What about the lived experience? What about the lived experience inside of each and every one of us? What if we had just sat in the room and everybody could have went around the room and talked about the emptiness without judgment? I was talking to Erica. She was talking to me. Erica and Lewis were talking. They were talking about the pain, but I wasn't talking about my pain. I wasn't telling my truth. I was lost too. And in that loss, I was trying to do everything I could to move forward. I thought being strong would keep my family safe, but it made us all feel just more alone. I wish I had cried more in front of everyone. I wish I had known that there would be days without tears and that was okay. It didn't mean I was doing it wrong. I wish I would have understood that we're okay. Quiet days are okay, and that both were a part of grief. I wish I had journaled more about the events that as they were happening, how I was feeling, what was going on. I didn't know at that moment, you guys, that this was going to be life altering. I didn't know that Austin was going to leave us this gift. I wish I had journaled more to remember what it felt like, what I was doing, what I was saying, so that I could share it more with you. You think you'll remember every detail. You think you're going to remember every smell, every taste, every sound. But that foggy brain takes some of that. Writing would have given me something to look back on and something to share. I would have been able to see the process. I wish I had I truly knew that I didn't have to just wait it out. I didn't know that not give it time. My doctor told me to give it time and that I would feel better. And then he wrote me a prescription. I wish I had known that that was a lie. I wish I didn't trust him. People kept saying they didn't say heal. They said give it time and you're going to feel better, but they didn't tell me what to do with that. I wish when I had gone to church that my pastor, his wife, my angels at church had known something about grief. I wish they could have guided me as a human being first, spiritually second. Because they tried to guide me spiritually and it didn't fit. I couldn't accept it in. I wish they had known something. The pain wasn't leaving because I wasn't doing anything with it. The pain was not going anywhere because I wasn't doing anything with it. It was just hanging on. I wish that someone would have looked me in the eyes and said, "You can't do this alone. Hey, girl, you can't do this alone. Come here. I did this already. Let me show you how to do it. Let me show you how to do it. Come over here. Would you like a hug?" Sharon was there for me. Sharon's my best friend. Sharon was there for me. And the thing that she was doing was amazing. She was asking me about the grief. She was asking me about my feelings. She was asking me what I was experiencing. She was asking me, which was amazing. But I wish a grief specialist would have been just there. But instead, I was getting told that he was an angel in heaven and he was in a better place. And that did not make me feel any less lost. If I could go back right now, I would let more people in. I would have asked for help. I would have sought more help for myself. I'm talking about for myself. But more than anything, I would have sat with my girls in their pain and tell them, this sucks. We don't know what we're doing. Friends, I mean, when I tell you I hardly broached the subject, I hardly broached the subject because I thought that if I talked about it, they would feel sad. I thought holding it in meant protecting them. And now I see I was just postponing it. We could have talked together. We could have cried together. We could have built our way forward together. So, yes, I'm left with a lot of regrets, a lot of regrets. Things that I wish were better, things that I wish were different, and all of the changes I wish had taken place. But I want to switch a little bit and show you what I know now. Here's what I know now. Your pain doesn't go away because you hide from it. It buries itself deeper and deeper. You cannot think your way through this grief. Hiding it from your children is not going to take the pain away. Please hear me. Hiding this from your children will not take the pain away. You have to feel your way through this. You have to cry. You have to yell. You have to scream. You have to allow. Pain, this grief sucks. You got to lean into the suck. We are the ones. We have to lean into the suck. And let's talk about that because I spent a long time resisting, pretending, and avoiding. Resisting looked like trying to keep order. It looked like I was trying to keep order. Everyone, the mass will be at this time. The funeral will be at this time. Everyone, listen, I'm in charge here. This is what we're doing. And everyone just followed me. I don't know. I just had the biggest voice in the room. And as long as I was acting like I was in charge and running the show, they just followed me. But my world was chaotic. When I tell you the world was chaotic, I stayed busy. I cleaned the kitchen. I worked harder. I cooked for everyone. I smiled when all I wanted to do was scream. I told myself I could manage this. All of this is going on in my resistance. But really, I was holding grief at an arm's length, and I knew I wasn't going that way. I knew that way was grief, and I knew I wasn't going that way. I told myself I was managing it, but I was really just holding it at arm's length. I was pretending to look strong. I even put on lipstick every day, like you see me now. I put on lipstick. I laughed. I posted pictures like life was normal. And if you asked me, I would have told you I was fine. Oh, Erica's doing well. I check on her every day. Everything would have turned back to Erica. I told myself I wasn't going to fall apart in front of anyone. So every day I went in the shower and I bawled. And I knew the moment I turned that knob, when I got out, I was being strong again. Avoiding was my full-time job. I avoided the quiet. I avoided my children. I avoided the pain. I avoided the conversation. I avoided songs. I avoided people. I would drive around aimlessly and forget where I was going. Nothing felt right to me. Everywhere I went, nothing felt right. But here's the truth. All of that time of resisting, pretending, avoiding didn't stop the pain. It just froze it in place until I was ready to deal with it. It's like pressing pause on your grieving, pressing pause on your healing journey. You think you're buying time, but really, you're just keeping yourself stuck in the same chapter on a different day, on a different page. Grief will wait. It will wait. It doesn't just leave because you ignore it. It sits quietly, patiently as hell, waiting for you to finally turn around and face it. You've got to turn towards it and go near it. Friends, there are so many things I wish I could tell you right now that I wish I had done differently. And even when you turn towards the grief, it's still there. It's raw, unedited, and ready to be felt. Even 20, 30 years later, if I could tell Sharon back then one thing, stop running, talk to your kids, let the pain come, let it knock you down, feel it, cry, and then get back up and do it again. Talk, talk, talk. Talk about what you're feeling. Talk about what you're experiencing. Lean in. Grab your heart. Say that this hurts. Tell people it sucks. Stop telling people you feel better. I used to think that if I got rid of this, then Austin was going to leave me, but he never did. That if I let go of this pain, I was letting go of him too. And the truth was, I let go of that pain and more love came into me. I was wrong. Healing didn't take him away, it brought him closer. And to each and every one of you that are there, that are grieving, that are actively grieving, slow down, slow down, take a breath. You got this. You can do it. Slow down, take a breath. And some of the things that you're avoiding right now, some of the big things that you're avoiding right now are the major things that you're going to need. Take a look at them. Get a piece of paper and pencil out and write it out. What am I doing? Where am I avoiding? Where can I make changes right now? Those are the things that I wish I had done differently. Those are the things that I wish I had done differently. Staying strong and pretending to be strong kept me blocked in. Take the time, slow it down, pay attention, lean in where it sucks, cry when you need to, and talk. Thank you, my friends. All right, everyone. If you're listening to this podcast, this is Grieve That Shit with Sharon Brubaker, and I'm so honored that you're here to listen to the podcast. Tomorrow, Saturday, tomorrow, November 8th, we are doing Surviving the Holidays. If you have not saved your seat, I want to make sure you get a chance to save your seat. I got some great new amazing things happening here at the Grief School, and I want to be able to share those all with you tomorrow on the 8th. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. Click the link below, and that's where you can find all of the things about the Grief School that are happening and all the fun stuff. I'll see you guys in the next podcast. Bye.